In this video, we're going to be going over Kasrkin equipment and how to use it, who to put it on, basically everything you're going to need to know in order to use everything that they have to offer effectively. It's got sort of a standard Imperial equipment selection going for it, and just a few things. Really, the equipment isn't something that you're going to be like developing whole strategies around. There's one strategy in particular with Forcadia that you can do with the combat knife. But I mean, other than that, this is really just something you should know, and it's always nice to have some extra things. And because there you have elite points and some of your Kasrkin operatives have bonuses attached to that, some of even the standard equipment could be interesting to use. Let's just jump right into it. So let's start with Foregrip, which is a 1 EP cost item, which gives you the ability to use an overwatch shot without worsening your ballistic skills. So for Kasrkin, you hit on 4s, which means your overwatch shot would hit on 5s. This basically makes it so that you still hit on 4s. It does cost 1 equipment point if you're just using your normal trooper with a hotshot las gun, or really anybody that isn't your gunners and your sharpshooters. This will actually cost you 2 EP to use these guys. Now on an open board against another horde team, this is actually pretty useless. You're almost never going to use it, so why even bother? But against an elite team, it's got a little bit more use, but even then, not really. However, on Into the Dark, in which you have guard actions, which allow you to essentially put somebody on an overwatch shot for anyone that moves into their range, this actually could be very useful. I would really only use it on your gunners, so that would mean that this would be a 2 EP equipment. But yeah, I think in Into the Dark, it could be very useful. Now, obviously, I am not rich and I do not have the Into the Dark terrain, but just pretend that's what this is. But yeah, this is again on an open board. You're not going to use it, but on Into the Dark, it's not a bad option, especially to put it on a plasma gunner, on a melta gunner, which would probably be even better. Yeah, let's move on to the standard Imperial equipment. This guy is sick. Anyways, the Kasrkin have access to crack and frag grenades. Both of them hit on 3s, so Kasrkin do hit on 3s, you just need to have a grenade. The grenade has a 2-3 damage profile, 4 attacks, and the crack grenade has a 4-5 damage profile, 4 attacks, AP1. Both of them are indirect. So these are pretty good. You're probably gonna take one every single match. But let me show you who I like to put it on and when I like to put it on them. That's right, your elite trooper, the normal average man. Look at him in all his glory. Yeah, so the reason you want to put your crack or your frag grenade on this guy is because he has a special ability, or his special ability is that he gets to use 1 free elite point every single time he makes a shooting attack. So let's start with the crack grenade. The crack grenade with this guy actually makes it a pretty good, lousy 4th gunner option, right? Your grenade launcher already comes with the crack grenade. So he already has an AP1 weapon to use against elite teams. It's decent. Same thing with your plasma gunner. Obviously he has AP2, ridiculous damage profile. And your melta gunner, of course, right? My uncompleted melta gunner. He also has an AP2 weapon and just insane damage. Mortal wounds 4. Just remember that. But yeah, other than those guys, this is a good way to have another elite killer. He has AP1. So if you were to, for example, hit that marksman with it, let's actually just roll that out, see how it looks. So remember, you hit on 3s. Boom. Holy crap, that's a good roll. So yeah, you hit on 3s. So this is 2 hits and a crit. Pretty good. I mean, this is a killer roll here. The only thing you would do to almost guarantee this kill is use 5 elite points to turn that into another crit. But actually, you only use 4 elite points. So if this is the first turning point, you have an Alpha Strike, you actually only have to use 4 elite points. You still have 10 left over. Let's just go ahead and roll this Phobos guy's defense die. So obviously he's still in cover. Just because something is indirect does not mean it takes away cover. So he gets to retain, he gets to retain 1. And we'll just roll it here. Okay, so he didn't roll, he didn't make a good roll. So yeah, you straight up kill this guy, right? He only has 1 save, that means you do 14 damage, he's dead. But let's say he does save, right? Let's say he does save. You can still, you still kill him. No, you don't kill him. Sorry. This is 10 damage. This guy is now wounded. He's got 2 health left. You can do almost anything, right? So this is a little bit of a strategy you could do. This is an elite team. They've only got 6 operatives. If this is the first turning point, you can like virtually guarantee that at some point you will totally be ahead of them in terms of activations, right? You'll still have 4 activations left. So you could do this. You could do this right here. And it totally works out for you. He's got 2 health left now. Now, how mad would this guy be, right? With his 2 health left. If you, with let's say your grenadier, I keep knocking this barricade over. This grenadier, what if you just charge him? You just charge and you fight him and you kill him because you just have to make 1 hit. You're Kasrkin, you're going to make that 1 hit. And now, as your grenadier, you have 2 options here of who you want to shoot. And you're thinking to yourself, well, how would I shoot him? Well, you've got a comsman that can give a 3rd AP out, so you can pull this off. If you had rolled a little bit better, you would have outright killed him. If your opponent had rolled a little bit worse, he did roll worse in the initial roll, and you killed him. But, even with 2 saves, even with a crit save and a save, you still do a lot of damage to this guy. You would do 9 damage to him. Yeah, I mean, it's just really good, especially against elite teams. Against horde teams, the same basic concept would apply, except they're probably more likely to group up here. So maybe instead of a crack grenade, you take the frag grenade, and let's say you do the exact same thing. Remember, frag is 4 attacks, hits on 3s, 2-3 damage profile. Very similar roll, a crit and 2 hits. You can do the same thing, change that to a crit. No AP, right? But this is the vet guard. Vet guard saves on 5s, so we'll roll 3 dice for that sergeant. He's got no saves. This would kill him. We'll roll for the medic. He's got 1 save. We'll roll again. You do not kill him. You get a 2-3. 2-3. But this will also wound him. So you would kill, in this situation, you would kill the sergeant. the medic would be left with 2 HP. Obviously, you could have done those rolls with any trooper here, but you just save a little bit more on your elite points with your elite trooper. He just has a normal gun. Why not give him a little bit of an advantage? Just a little bit of more usefulness on the battlefield by giving him a grenade. All right, let's move on to the next one and to the more specific ploys or equipment for certain operatives. They're almost like tailor-made for those operatives. Wow, another unfinished model. So, as you can see, with your with your sharpshooter here, he has a special piece of equipment. I say he has it, you can put it on anybody, but it really does feel like it's made specifically for him, which is the long-range scope, which essentially means that as long as you are shooting at somebody that is more than 6 inches away, I'm not gonna actually measure it out, but it is more than 6 inches away, you get to get the no cover special rule. That's it. It's just a nice little addition. There's no reason to not to take it. Yeah, especially on your sharpshooter, you know, with his the snipe profile, he hits on 2s. This essentially just almost guarantees a kill. This is also only 2 EP, so. Adrenaline shot is an interesting piece of equipment. Essentially, all it does is it allows you to ignore any positive or negative modifiers to your APL. So you could still positively affect your APL, so you could still give your medic 3 APL if you wanted to. But if you ever get negatively affected, you could ignore it. This is interesting because with the medic, his special ability, or one of his special abilities, is to revive somebody. So let's say your sergeant, you know, takes a shot at the enemy sergeant. Boom, takes him out. And then your enemy plasma gunner takes out your sergeant. Well, so long as he is within 3 inches, and this is 3 inches, when your sergeant is incapacitated, he is able to revive him. Remember, it is only so long as he is within 3 inches. He has to die here within 3 inches of your medic. If he dies, you know, 4 inches away and then you try to move your medic, you can't do that. It has to be the moment this character dies. So it would actually happen during your enemy's activation. You can immediately revive him for 1 HP, and then your sergeant is actually able to perform a free dash so long as that dash ends within 1 triangle or inch of your medic. I keep forgetting we're gonna get rid of shape soon, so get used to that. What this means, well, what's the drawback for this, right? This costs you -1 APL. It does not cost an APL to use. It's -1 to both your sergeant's APL and your medic's APL. Well, what's the difference between this? It just means that if your sergeant still hasn't gone and then you go with him, he will only have 1 APL that turn, right? But if your sergeant has already gone and you have -1 APL, this doesn't affect him at all for this turning point. It doesn't matter to him. Same thing with the medic. Because it doesn't actually cost an action to do, it just costs APL. I know that's a little confusing, but it essentially means that if you have already gone, this happens for free. If you have not already gone, you only have 1 action on your next activation, unless your medic has adrenaline shot. So if your medic has adrenaline shot, you can just immediately use it, and you can ignore that modification, which essentially means you get to revive for free. So you revive this guy for free, And that's it. That's what adrenaline shot does. It's pretty good, especially if you want your medic to do something, right? Either it's cap an objective, or if you want to heal somebody else, whatever it is. Remember, if you revive somebody, you cannot use stims on them. You have to use it on somebody else. So yeah, adrenaline shot almost goes hand in hand with medic. You can put it on somebody else, but there's no reason to. It is a 1 EP item cost. Do not forget that. So no reason not to put it on him. If you want to put it on somebody else, you could, but it's really only for the medic. So the decoy grenade and the stun grenade are interesting, though both of them are kind of just not good enough to be used. Let me show you what I mean. So the decoy grenade essentially allows you to take away people's overwatch actions or guard actions, right? So you're gonna place a token, within 6 inches of, any of your operatives, whoever has it, obviously. You are then, yeah, that's right, I did move it slightly. You are then going to measure out 4 inches. If you're still using shapes, you can say 2 circle, but 4 inches away from that token. Anybody within that range, you have to roll a dice for. So in this example, it would be 3. So we'd roll 1 for the sergeant, 5 for the plasma gunner, another 5, I'm a god, and for this guy, the spotter, I believe. Yep, that's a 1, so not him. So on a 4+, they can no longer perform an overwatch or guard action. That's okay, it's fine. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, let's say this is heavy terrain, and this operative was not visible to him. Obviously, we rolled a 1, so it doesn't matter, but instead of a 4+, it would need to be a 5+. You can't use elite points on this because this does not count as a shooting attack. So, again, on an open board, this is probably useless. On Into the Dark, it's got more use, but you'd probably just be better off bringing a crack grenade and killing whoever it is you want to kill. So it's up to you. The stun grenade is a little bit more interesting and a little bit more useful, I think. Let's check it out. So let's keep it the exact same, and in fact, it really does actually apply the exact same way. Everybody here would need to you would roll a dice for everybody within the range, except the range is different. Now the range is simply 2 inches, or circle, if you're still using those, is 2 inches. So this guy would no longer be effective. You would roll 2 dice. So Sergeant is unaffected. Both of them are unaffected. So yeah, and again, you can't use elite points for this. You could use command reroll, but yeah. If you had hit them though, each of these guys would actually suffer -1 APL. That's actually not bad, right? To take 2 APL from people, especially if they haven't gone yet. Yeah, but it's just kind of risky, right? This hits on 4s. You can't use your elite points on it. As you just saw right there, I essentially threw this. It's limited, and now I got no use out of it. I didn't even get a shooting. There's nothing. There's a lot of negatives to this, and it's not that good. What I would have liked is if the stun grenade actually had the exact same range as the decoy grenade. I actually think this would have made it a much better thing to use, but for the most part, yeah, you're not going to bring this. This one also costs 3 EP. So this costs 3 EP. It's a lot. and its usefulness is not that great. Its range is not that long. Yeah, I personally do not use this. Now for my favorite piece of equipment, because it lets you do something that I love doing, which is the Kasrkin double kill without a grenade. Look at it right there. There it is. You see it? No, you can't see it. There. Oh. 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 There it is. The combat knife. So what the combat knife essentially allows you to do is you change your damage profile from 2-3 to 3-4. You still keep the same attacks. You still hit on 4s. And that's really it. That's all it does. But why do I like this so much? Well, let me just show you a quick strategy, and I'm gonna keep bringing the strategy up, okay? You already know the strategy. It's for Kadia, if you saw my last video, but I'm gonna go over it again just because I love it. I love it so much. You're gonna essentially give this guy 3 APL. When you activate him, you're then going to pop for Kadia, which is just, oh, yes. You pop for Kadia, which for those of you who did not watch my previous video, this ups your damage from 2 or 3-4 with your combat knife to 4-5. It also gives you a 5-up feel no pain. So for every point of damage you take, you roll a dice. On a 5+, you do not take that damage. So you are then going to choose a target that you know has sucky combat. Like this guy, he sucks at it. You know, he's got 3 attacks, 2-3 damage profile. He cannot kill you. You're going to charge him, right? And this is a perfect charge, right? You've got access to a lot of targets, whoever you want to shoot. And all you have to do is kill this guy. Now, the combat knife only gives you 3 attacks still. It does not change the amount of attacks you would have. All it does is it changes your damage profile. But let's roll it. Let's just see whatever outcome we have. Okay. So damn, this is actually a pretty good outcome. Yeah, this is a pretty good outcome. You can just change this into a crit. This essentially confirms the kill. There is nothing this guy can roll to win here or do anything to you, to really stop you, right? If he rolls all crits, it means nothing to you. You're going to hit him once for 5 damage. This guy has 2 health left. He'll hit you for 3 damage. Who cares? You kill him. Now he is out of the game, or he's incapacitated, and you, with your 3rd APL, can take a shooting attack on any of these guys. If you have a grenade on this guy, which you could do, you could take you could technically take 2 shooting attacks. If you have a crack grenade, you could almost guarantee, not almost, you can guarantee a kill here. Yeah, the combat knife, I think, is just really, really nice. And the combat knife on anybody, right? Sure, I used him to do that, right? But let's say I used my grenade launcher. Well, now my grenade launcher, he has a shooting attack with a crack grenade or a frag grenade right into them if you wanted to. It could have been my melta gunner. There's no reason it has to be just your elite trooper. It could be any of your gunners, and this is a deadly ploy. Just from a little bit of a boost to your damage. Yeah, I love the combat knife. I love pairing it with Kadia, and I think you should also consider doing it too. Alright guys, that's it for all of the equipment for the Kasrkin. Hopefully some strategies you can use. If I couldn't give you a strategy for some of the equipment, sorry, I just don't use them. I think there's other more effective things. I just hope that you understand that, you know, use these things a little bit aggressively. We're gonna get into a few more interesting strategies, especially with the operatives now. Specific strategies for each operative, ways that they can commingle. That's going to be a series of videos, I think. If I put it onto one video, I literally think I could go into like an hour or two. So I'm going to try to put it down into one or a few small videos that I'll release for each of the operatives. It's going to start with the sergeant and how you bring together this team and things that or configurations of the team that I think you should go with. But yeah, that's going to be the next video. I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to like if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe if you subscribed. Subscribe. All right, bye.